All right, guys. For the people that are in the crypto space, if you've got anyone, maybe people from Crypto Australia who seem to have an issue with me, feel free to add them in. Maybe it's good for some people that are outside of my circle to sort of understand and see who I am as a person and not what a lot of new people see on Facebook. So I want to give you guys a bit of a rundown on where I started. Because I can see here there are a lot of names of people that I just don't know besides through Facebook. So I guess those who know, I dropped out of high school in the year was, I wrote it down because I knew I'd forget. Did I? Yeah, 2006. So I was 15 years old. All right, I finished year 10. I tried to apply for East Doncaster Secondary College, but they wouldn't accept me. So I dropped out of high school, started working at McDonald's at the age of 16. So the following year, I moved out of home. I moved up to Reservoir in my own house with my partner at the time. I had no support. I had friends and family, but financially I was on my own with my partner. We just both worked. I worked at McDonald's, I worked catering, I was working at a butcher, and then when I turned 18, I got a job in security, still in Reservoir, paying $350 a week in rent, and the rest of it. And I worked and I worked and I worked. And then I got to about 21, 22 years of age, and I started my own security company for the company I was working for. So I worked for a really large security company, and I started subcontracting my own guards at the time. So I would, it basically started off. I had a friend of mine cover a shift with me, and then my boss is like, "Oh, hey, do you have any other friends like you guys?" Because we were obviously a bit bigger. All the clients liked us. So from there, long story short, over the next 12 months, I built a team of about 30 people, and then we started patrols, guarding, static work, and the rest of it. Fast forward to 2013, things were crazy. Now, a lot of you don't know this, and I'm going to delve into it a little bit. Now, I took custody of two young girls. I'm not going to go into detail with who or how or why, but I took custody of two young girls, and through that, I was in court every day, trying to help them and keep them at my house. One was 3 at the time, and the other one was 6.5 or 6, 6 or 7. Took custody of them for 3 months. During their stay at my house, with the legal bills, we're paying $5,000 to $10,000 per day in family court just to keep the kids safe. 3 months of that, I lost my company. Obviously had no job because I lost my company, and the kids ended up going back home. So obviously it was very difficult. Not only did the kids go home, but since we eventually lost in court, I wasn't even allowed to see the kids for a couple of months. From there it got better. But at the time, I'd worked from the age of 15 to 23 years old, built a mountain of success, and over 3 months, my goal was to help other people, and because of that, I lost everything, which I have no regrets about whatsoever. I would do it again in a heartbeat. So I'm 24 years old. I'm 23 years old. 3.5 years ago, barely got money for food. I had a car, it was financed. Even if I'd sold it, I would have still owed money on it. I'm 23, broke as fuck, living in Reservoir, no job, no company. For about a month, I was quite depressed at home, and then basically, I got a job again working for a friend of mine. I put a picture of my payslip. Back then, I was $20 an hour, so it wasn't terrible. But I would get up at 5 a.m., drive to Sunshine, which is not a nice area, and I would work there until the afternoon, evening, and go home. And then I slowly got back into work. And then, a few weeks after that, I got to see these kids again, which was just awesome for me. I woke up the next morning. I woke up at 5 a.m. I just got out of bed. I went outside, and I literally said to myself that I'm going to become. I said it out loud. I said I'm going to become so successful that this never fucking happens again. And what I mean by that is I don't want to ever have, financials or anything like that to stop me from doing what I want to do in life. So if I want to change the lives of a couple of kids, money should not get in the way of that. I mean, me having to, 23 having to fork out 5 or 10 grand a day to pay for court. I mean, I didn't have that kind of money, and it got that bad. And I was only reminded of this 2 nights ago because I've been so busy. We moved finally. This is like my first office I've moved into. I've worked from home my entire life. Ever since I was 15, I've worked from home. This is my first office. We've just moved in. You can't see much, but we just moved in over the weekend. I've got 10 staff here now in the office, and obviously everyone from everywhere else. And it was actually Peter and Esses who, sorry Peter, I'm going to use you as an example. He wanted to organise to come see me during the week, and I'm like, sorry man, like I need to be a bit more professional and try and not help people, but just try and spend a bit more time on what I'm working on, and try and allocate a bit less time for one-on-ones, because obviously everyone wants to get into Bitcoin and everyone wants advice, and that's cool. And he reminded me, I had to open up a GoFundMe account, which I completely forgot about, after I lost everything, just to keep the kids at my house, just to keep them going, with all the legal shit. And it makes you think. And then I'm sitting here and I'm looking at everything that's happening, and fuck yeah, like I'm proud of myself, but I think it's important to not lose track of who you are and where you come from. And I guess Peter put that into perspective when he goes to me, hey man, like I was one of those people, and this is before Peter even knew who the fuck I was. I was just some guy on Facebook. He put his hand up and he's like, here's a few $100 or $500. I don't remember the amount, but for someone online to, obviously he was watching what was happening in my life and with these kids, and he was one of the first people to put his hands up and say, look man, I want to help. So I guess for me, that morning I woke up and everything changed. So a lot of questions I get is, how did what drove me? I mean, that's what drove me. I mean, I've got a picture of them. It's just behind, it's in front of me now. They're always in front of my desk. Now, that's what drives me more than anything else. It's not about money or cars. I mean, I like buying a nice car every now and then, but that's pretty much it. Like, I haven't got any jewelry and shit like that. But I guess that's what sort of helped me. That's what drove me to get here. The rest is just passion. So I mean, it took me a few years to sort of to learn about believing in yourself, because even up until 6 months ago, I know I've done well, but I've never really been able to believe in what I say. I mean, I might say, yeah, we should do this, but now I know it's crazy, because if I say it, it's going to happen. I don't think I've ever said something and it have not happened. So I guess that's just a bit about there. As for now, I mean, as I said, I've worked from home since, even when I was 15 and I was at my parents' house, or 14, I was selling supplements. My first business was Hellas Nutrition. I'm not sure if anyone here has known me long enough to know that. I used to sell supplements, and then from there I moved to Oz Bodybuilding Supplements, then Hardline Security, and everything else in between. And now I'm sure you guys are well aware of everything that I'm doing now. So for me to build, companies worth, 10 to 12 million plus from my home office, next to my bedroom, I think that's pretty impressive, and I'm super excited to see how we go with the proper office and proper team. I mean, it was only mid-January. I hired James. He's been a good friend of mine for about 10 years, and he was actually a security guard at Crown Casino. He jumped on board, and from me and James in January to nearly 10 of us now in the office, not even 12 months later, it's, I feel like I've done my own Bitcoin, 10x in a year, which is pretty cool. So I guess that's a bit of insight to my life, and I guess like everyone, people tend to get carried away online. In person, I mean, I'm obviously, whoever knows me, they know how I am. But I guess, yeah, it's hard going on Facebook and then seeing one bloke who wasn't happy with something, and then I know there's a rumor going around in Crypto Australia and silly things, about, I'm not even sure what they're saying. I left that group as soon as I joined it. It's, Bitcoin, I've been an advocate for Bitcoin for 5 years. I mean, I've been in Bitcoin. I don't even know if anyone on these pages have been in Bitcoin any longer than I have. But, I think people just need to just calm down. I mean, and I know people are making a bit of money, and that's great, but there's no need for everyone to hate on everyone else. But I guess that's enough on that. I had a few other things I was going to say. I guess, what else was there? They're all crypto questions. Trying to see if I had anything else that wasn't crypto. I mean, okay, I guess what's my 3, 6, 9, 12 Bitcoin? Projection wise for Bitcoin, I haven't got any. I said we'll hit 5,000 mid-year. We did. I said 7. We did. I said 10. We did. But man, no fucking I didn't have a clue that we would have hit 25. Nearly 25,000. This year. I did say we'll hit 200,000, 500 down the track, but not this quick. So that's a bit about my life and my journey and how I sort of got here now. I'm not sure. Oh, Michael's online. How are you, Mick? I'm not sure if people saw. I mean, Michael put up a picture on his page a few nights ago. I mean, when he came to my house, I mean, we were, it was Uber and McDonald's, sorry, Jimmy, morning, and then at 2 a.m., we worked from, there were 15 of us in the office. We worked from 7 a.m. to 2 or 3 in the morning, 5 nights in a row. Michael slept on a fucking inflatable mattress. It's not the fucking Ty Lopez show. It's a lot of work goes into what we do, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people, I'm not sure why. Maybe they're upset at their own life, or they don't like seeing other, everyone keeps saying it's tall poppy syndrome. I'm not sure, but they're just people doing whatever they can to sort of take us down and take down our vision. And my vision's always been to bring mainstream adoption of Bitcoin to the country, and that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, let me see what else we had. Why crypto? I mean, I got into crypto. It was a long time ago, but it wasn't as profitable back when I started, 4 or 5 years ago. I guess I saw the price. I was still working as security back then. I saw the price at about $2. I went to buy some, and I'm like, oh, why is it $2.20 to buy if it's only worth $2? So I did some research. I bought some, and then I sold some on obviously local Bitcoins, and then from there I decided to start brokeraging. Obviously a few years ago, when had that spike from $50 up to $1,200, then back down to $200. And obviously I gave up on Bitcoin naturally, as anyone did back then. And now I'm back into it. So why crypto? I thought it was pretty cool. Obviously I thought it was quite profitable, and I got into it. ATMs in Sydney. Yes, the next 3 ATMs, there are 2 more going in Melbourne. The other one's going in Townsville. And then there's another 50 that ordered, and they're obviously already on the way. Thanks to our seed round, which obviously went very well and did not come without its challenges. How to get started? Like in success in general. Find what you're passionate about. Set a goal, but also write down a plan on how you're going to get there. So for me, I like having whiteboards. So I'll go on the whiteboard and I'll say, all right, I want to have 40 ATMs, say for example. So I'm going to work out how I get them, how much it's going to cost, how to raise that money, and where I'm going to put them, and then everything else. So you need to work out what your goal is. If your goal is to buy a house, just write down the house you want to buy, or find the house, put a picture of it on the wall, see what it's worth, talk to a broker, work out what your deposit has to be, and then put a savings plan in place, so you know that if you save $200 a week, you will save 10 grand a year. So it will take you X amount of years. Once you have that in place, then you know that it's going to take you, call it 350 weeks. You can actively put a plan in place to lower that to less weeks. You know what I mean? So you just need to put a plan and write it down and stick to it. And just believe in yourself. Whatever you want to achieve in life, you can. There's, if your parents are talking shit, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, people on Facebook, it makes no difference. They're not there, when you do well, and they sure as hell aren't going to be there, if you're not doing well. What else? Why is it all about? Why come everyone wants to know about fucking Bitcoin, man? Crypto tax. Who asked about crypto tax? Because that's a lot of. There's a lot in there. Was my Lambo manual? No, it was actually an e-gear. It wasn't. I thought it was manual, but it's actually not. Peter, I told you in person, didn't I? Alex Lubo jacked off me. Bitcoin tax. I mean, you guys just need to keep in mind that I'm not an accountant, etc., all that jargon. As far as I'm concerned, if you put $20,000 into Bitcoin, all right, and that goes up in value. So say you put 20 grand in and now it's worth 100 grand. If you withdraw 20 grand worth of Bitcoin, you haven't made a profit, all right? Because you put 20 grand in and you withdrew 20 grand. That 80 grand that you've got in Bitcoin, as far as I'm concerned, and I do a lot of transactions with Bitcoin, that money you have in that crypto value that you have, your profit that's in Bitcoin is not taxable, because Bitcoin's not a financial product. Okay, now you need to talk to your accountant, but most accountants don't know about taxes anyway with Bitcoin, so I'm not sure how much help they're going to be. But yeah, I mean, that's the crypto tax. You pay tax on your profits. Now, it's up to you to declare your profits or not. That's not for me to tell you. That's for you to work out. I think that's all the questions I had. Actually, it's pretty simple. Plans for Ozcoin. Ozcoin's cool, man. So we got these offers pretty much for Ozcoin. So we've got an awesome CEO. Insane. We've got Michael, obviously, awesome. And then everyone else in the team is pretty good. Everyone's doing their thing. So our next round is the pre-ICO. That's going to happen January 15th. In the meantime, we're building the infrastructure. So we'll start marketing. The team and I finish what we're doing. Ozcoin is going to be the second most accessible cryptocurrency in the world. So it's naturally going to sell itself. You know what? A lot of people are picking apart the white paper, but you know what? I didn't fucking finish high school, and I don't think Michael did either. But when it comes to working, I can guarantee not one person that's had something bad to say will ever outwork Michael or myself, or Sean for that matter. No one's going to outwork us. So I don't care if if you want to be negative and try to pick apart a couple of things that maybe we made a mistake on. But if these people spent 5 minutes saying, "Hey Sam," or "Hey Mick, I think you guys made a mistake here. Why don't you guys do this instead?" I think it would just be a lot more beneficial to them, and we would even put them on board with us. But what they're doing, I mean, they're yelling out all these things about it being a scam. But I mean, these people, I don't think, I'm not even sure who they are. So I mean, it's disappointing because we're trying to bring, Bitcoin mainstream, and some people just want to sit at home on, behind their keyboards and just make up whatever they want to make up. I feel like I'm back in high school, which is, pretty much why I left anyway. Because I'm sick of people complaining about shit. All right. What's the difference between buying off local Bitcoin and BTC markets? Well, not much. BTC markets, I haven't used Bitcoin. I used local Bitcoins back when I did. You're basically buying and selling with other traders like myself. If you lost everything and forgot about business, what will be the 3 things you want to learn to get to where you are now? Michael Stark, the first thing I would want to learn is how to believe in myself, how to set goals, and how to find what I'm passionate about. So if you're passionate about something, and you can set a goal and you work your ass off, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. Am I still selling Bitcoin? Yes, please message me tomorrow because I'm not selling any Bitcoin today. Whatever about the white paper, if they can't see the vision. Yeah, I mean, how much is Oscoin ATM? Joke, what does that even mean, mate? Seriously. The ATMs are not for sale. Yeah, they're not for sale. Whatever, yeah, white paper. I mean, look, we're going to bring out 1,200 ATMs across the country. 1% of all of the transactions are going to get put back into the Oscoin network by us buying up tokens. So we're going to, and I can't say anything yet. If you haven't subscribed to the email list at oscoin.io, just do it now. You'll get an email in the next 2 weeks. Michael was about to tell me off if I shared that too early. What keeps me so motivated? Brad, if you heard what I said at the start, that's what keeps me. Nothing keeps me more motivated than that. I'll share a video with someone's life that I changed when he's here with me, just so you guys can talk to him as well. And that's basically what I live for. I do what I keep doing all of my smaller businesses to offer other people opportunities. I mean, if you look in my office, who works with me, Bryce, he's a friend from Queensland. James, he's an old mate of mine, from 10 years ago. Everyone that I work with are all good friends of mine. I like to work with people that I enjoy. And that's why I love what I do. It's definitely not about the money, that's for sure. Did I have any mentors? No. I used to watch a lot of Eric Thomas. He's awesome, but Gary Vee is probably my. I don't talk like he doesn't know who I am. Like we don't talk, but I guess he's still a mentor just by watching him. Some of the most successful people with dropouts. Have you had to overcome health issues and big life events? Big life events, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how early you joined. That's probably the biggest event in my life. I'm actually going through things right now as well. But at the end of the day, if you can't, things definitely affect me. I mean, like Michael knows firsthand what I'm going through. You need to just stick to your goals, because if you worry about things too much that are out of your control, it's going to set you back, and that shit's going to happen anyway. So you need to focus on. You have to focus on what you can control and not on what you can't control. Mindset focus. All odds were against you. Oh man, hey brother, what's your secret of keeping your mindset focused when all odds were against you? Oh. You know what? I'm not even sure. I just worked. I didn't really pay attention to any of it. I just had my goals, and I knew. I guess again, I knew when I just worked on that. I just worked on doing what I could to get to where I wanted to get to. And I guess that's I've got a tattoo on the back of my neck, 5%. Rich Piana has always been a big idol of mine. I would see him every year at the expo. obviously, you guys know he's passed away now. But I've got a tattoo in the back of my neck that says 5%, which means the 5% of the world that do whatever it takes to reach their goals. A lot of people have goals, but not many of them do much. George Poulos. Yeah, that's because, George, the seed sale is finished, man. So you need to wait till January 15th. What was your mindset to believe in yourself when you were going through those tough times? Susie, I didn't believe in myself at all back then. I just knew that I didn't ever want to be in that position again. So I had to do what I had to do to get out of there. And then over the years, I learned how to believe in myself. So now I know. And all the boys in the office, if I say something like I came back from a trip and I'm like, oh, we're gonna do 11 more restaurants. Oh, I copped an ear bashing because they knew that since I made that statement that it was gonna happen. It wasn't like just empty words. It's basically a self-growing coin. Yeah, that's correct, Andrew. The coin will grow itself. The initial idea was to pay dividends to everyone, to pay that 1% in Oscoin back to everyone, which will grow the coin's value every week for life insanely, and also give back to people. But at the moment, we're not allowed to do that because it's a managed investment scheme or fund or whatever. So the legal team's working on it. Hopefully, we can do that. But for now, yes, we can buy. We'll be doing buybacks, but we can't give anything back. We can't give anything to anyone. Future plans for a Kiwi coin? Probably not, man. That's probably not going to be happening. What do you do to relax or have fun? Good question. I like to go on short. I went to Japan for like 4 nights, short trips. Otherwise, I just play with my dog Bella. If you guys know her at home. Vegemite or peanut butter? They are both horrendous. So I will not be having any of them. Bigger picture, that's correct. Double down, sleep less. Exactly right, Brahan. Will your ATMs come to the Philippines? If you live in the Philippines and you want to help run the ATMs, and you're not going to rob them, all good, mate. As long as you send back the money so we can buy more Bitcoin, then that's all good. I think that's pretty much everything. I just wanted to share a bit about my life with you guys because I know there are a lot of people here that don't know me. They see that I had a Lamborghini. They see whatever they see, but they don't see the hardship that I've gone through to get here. I didn't have a big brother or friends with any sort of success or anything. Like no one that I knew had any money or had any business or had anything. It was just me and a couple of mates working together, and now we're here. So yeah, I guess that's it. I just wanted to thank you all for watching. Unless there's any other questions, I don't think so. But Samuel Laurie, thanks, mate. That's awesome. I do not want a 1% tattoo. That is horrendous as well. No new Labos or anything for me. And as for my initial comment, I'm looking for one person. I just want someone. They don't need to be good at anything in particular. But so look, if I'm looking for one person that wants to stop what they're doing, all right, change their life, and come and work with me. If you're this, if you're that person, or if you know that person, just get them to send me a private message to this page, and I'll give them a call in the next week, and we'll see how we go. But I'm gonna get someone on. I'm gonna do another live video next week. I'll get someone else on board, someone that I met basically on the streets, and I want to show you guys what we did with him and where he is now, to give you guys a better idea as to who I am and what my real goals are. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I do really appreciate it. I don't think there's any other. Yeah, Brad, that's what it was. I'm gonna offer one person. If they're not in Melbourne, I can fly them down. That's fine. That's not a problem. Do we need? Yeah, you need to work in. You need to move to Melbourne. I can fly you down. That's not a problem. Let me just have a look. There's one other question here. I don't know what the next three big coins in 2018. I'm gonna tell you now, so make sure you write it down. Bitcoin is the first one. Neo is your second one, and Oscoin is your third one. There you go, mate. Ellie Rum, how would I make money off Bitcoin? Just buy some. Look, just for now, just buy some Bitcoin. Don't worry about mining and don't worry about trading. Buy some Bitcoin, get a feel for it, do some research, and go from there. Ellie Ramadan. Okay? Do that, and that's it. All right, I'm gonna go. I'll let you guys get back to it. If I didn't answer, if I missed your question, ask it again, and I'll just reply in the comment section. And if you think if you've seen someone who you think might want to know a bit more about me, just tag them in this. I'm happy to talk to them. And yeah, okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Chat to you all soon. See you later. Thanks for watching.